A very good morning, everyone. My name is Suwitit Chadarun. It's such a great honor for me to be here. It's my first time here at Maejo University. And I would like to say good morning to our assistant to the president, distinguished guests, faculty members of Maejo University, friends from Malaysia, and Maejo University students. I hope I don't speak too fast to all Maejo students here, but rest assured that I will try to speak slowly. I will make sure that I will give the end of my presentation some time to translate or talk about the main idea of what I share with you in Thai language, just briefly to make sure that everyone understands and we are all on the same page. Now, if you want to ask me any questions, feel free to ask me and raise your hands, and you can speak Thai to me. Even though I'm from Singapore, I'm Thai. And you probably know that I graduated from Chiang University from the introduction. So besides Thai language, you can uka Mueang with me also. So when the camera crew just say tom tom, I totally understand what that means. So don't worry about that. Okay. So I'm a native of Chiang Mai. I was born in Chiang Mai, and I went to the US in 1999. So this marks the 24 years of my life that I have been away from my hometown already. But throughout the time when I was here in Chiang Mai, I passed by Maejo, but I never stopped here at the university. So it's such a great opportunity for me to be here and meet with all the faculty members, meet with all the bright students here at the university. I gave a talk here for the conference at Maejo University a couple of years ago, but that was still on Zoom during the time when the pandemic hit us and everything has to be done on Zoom at that time, right? But today we are meeting face to face. So I hope that we will have a chance to really meet and talk during the break or maybe during the session. Throughout my 45 minutes of presentation, I will be using this tool called Slido. So students, please, I want to ask you to bring up your phone, take out your phone and scan the QR code here, please. I will have a lot of questions on this for you to scan and answer. So make sure you do that. While you are setting this QR code and website on your phone, let me share with you a story. I went to America, and that's my first time going overseas in 1999. And I was 26 years old at that time. Now you can count how old I am. I'm 50 years old this year. So I went to America in 1999. At that time, I completed my bachelor degree from Chiang Mai University. You were probably not familiar with the education, what it was like in those days. I had to write papers with my hand and turn in and submit my essay with the paper that I wrote. It's a handwritten paper that I submitted to the professor. But then when I went to America in 1999, everyone in America those days, they wrote their papers on computer already. And I was born in the generation where we didn't use computer to write papers. And what happened to me was that I could not think and type. I could not think and type at the same time. What happened to me was I had to ask my professor in America, could you give me extra time to do the paper? Because I cannot type and think in front of the computer. I had to write on paper first and then go type on the computer and submit it to you. That is what technology affects our life. Even the way you think, you would probably see your uncle at my age. If you pick up your phone from your pocket and you want to text your uncle, your aunties, your parents, you can type fast. But for me, I had to kind of like use just one finger to find out where is letter A, B, C, or D on my phone to type my message and send it to everyone. That's how technology affects our life. But you were born in the generation where technology is all around you already. You may or may not be aware how it affects your life. So in my presentation today, we'll take a look at one technology in particular, how it affects our life, and that is artificial intelligence. When I talk about artificial intelligence, you might think that it's something very technical, but it's not. It's something that I can guarantee every single of you have used or encountered or interact with. If you pick up your phone from your pocket right now, right? How many of you use the face recognition. How many of you use the fingerprint to activate your phone? I think some of you do, right? Face recognition is one of the tools, for instance, that the younger generation like you are familiar with already. But people like my age, we are not familiar with, right? I don't understand like how the computer can scan my face and know that it's me. So that being said, the first question that I'm gonna ask you is describe how comfortable you're feeling. What's your feeling about for using AI? How comfortable you are? How comfortable you are? What's your feeling about using AI? Are you very comfortable using AI mainly for your work, or are you not very good at using AI just yet? But I think you think you can learn, or are you not comfortable using AI at all, or you are not comfortable using it, and you think it's quite late for you to learn how to use AI already? Okay, thanks for the 12 participants who already scanned your answer and share your answer. And I understand that this session is being live streamed on Facebook as well. So if our participants who are watching from Facebook would like to join, please do scan the QR code. I hope you can see that on the screen on Facebook as well. Right? Thanks for the 22 answers that come in already. It's not a big surprise to me, all right, that not many people say that you are very comfortable and you are familiar with AI and all that, because AI is new for sure. But as I said, we are actually using AI already in our lives, but we just don't know that it's AI, such as the face recognition on the phone that I told you, right? How many of you bought items, products from online merchants? I'm sure a lot of you have, right? Now, when you ask questions to the merchants and all that, perhaps people who answer your questions, people who answer your questions are probably not the real human being. They are probably like the chatbots, right? The AI who answer the questions for you. Do you think AI will eliminate or create more jobs for people? I'm not sure. If you are still on that page on the phone, you might be able to see that question, right? Do you think AI will create more jobs for people, or AI will destroy more jobs for people? Let's see if there are any answers come in. I got 5 answers coming in. I don't know from the room or from the participants on Facebook. There are quite a few already, right? Some of you are still not sure. About half say that AI will create more jobs for people. Okay, now AI, as many people are worried, right? Help us to deal with a lot of business problems, to solve a lot of business problems. But there are some concerns from human beings that AI will replace human beings, and a lot of jobs will be taken away by artificial intelligence. For example, in the past, a lot of students want to study accountancy. A lot of students want to study finance because they think that there are a lot of jobs in the bank, and the banks will pay a lot of salary for people to, right? That's the old ways of thinking. But these days, look at what happened. A lot of staff in the bank were sacked, meaning that they are fired, right? Because a lot of banks use ATM machines, use AI to serve the customers, right? That is what people are worried about. Actually, in 2017, there is a study by a company called Gartner, which is a consulting firm based in the US. They predicted that by 2020, which is a few years back, right, that AI would create more jobs, but that speed was slowed down due to the pandemic, due to COVID-19. Now that the pandemic is over, it is expected that AI will even create more jobs for people rather than getting rid of the jobs for people. But the jobs will change, okay? And that will lead to what I'm going to share with you for the next 30 minutes or so today. Because I'm going to share with you how we are going to use AI. to create new ideas? How are we going to use AI to create new innovation? Let me ask you this. How many of you use or know about ChatGPT? Yes. Are you using that? Okay. Other thing, Bard or Google Bard or yes. Wonderful. We had another bright student here, right, who used another AI generated content, which is similar to ChatGPT. And I'm sure that some of you may have signed up on ChatGPT already, right? What is ChatGPT? It's a platform that can answer you any questions that you may have. How does that website answer any questions at all in the world? Because they gather information from all around the world, from all the databases, from all the websites. So they have a big enough pool of data to really understand any questions that you may ask. And then whatever you ask, they can provide some reasonable answers to you, right? That is what we call the new version of artificial intelligence. It can answer any questions you may have. And in that way, that AI helps democratize innovation. What does that mean? There is the economist from MIT. You know MIT, right? A very famous university in America. The professor from economics here named Von Hippel. I believe his first name is Eric. If you are interested in his work, you can go and study his work. He said that in the past, all the innovation, all the new ideas, all the new products, all the new campaigns are generated by only a small group of people who are the experts, who are the scholars in the community, in the society. And that is not democratic. Why? Because only the experts, right, have the power to create new ideas, new innovation, or even new products. If you think about that carefully. That's why he advocates for democratization of innovation, meaning that anyone, even younger generation like students like you, can innovate, can come up with new ideas. To make it more a democratic process, everyone should be able to do that equally. And ChatGPT can help that. And I will show you how. I will show you how, especially in relation to the idea of sustainability. All right? So we are on the same page here about the idea that organizations struggle to make use of the plethora of ideas that are generated. Organizations want to get a lot of new innovative ideas, but they don't know how to manage those ideas. So that's why just a small group of people at the top who come up with the idea at this point. And then the economist said that, no, we have to democratize, allow everyone to be able to innovate and come up with new ideas, right? So that's the main argument here. Okay, now with that, the new version of AI, like ChatGPT, can help us do that. What is ChatGPT actually? It's called generative AI. You know that term, right? You heard of that term. ChatGPT is a generative artificial intelligence. Roughly speaking, we are familiar with the two big types of artificial intelligence. In the first generation, we are more familiar with the predictive artificial intelligence. What is the predictive? To predict, to make a guess about the future, right? Predictive artificial intelligence is that artificial intelligence tool that will help you predict something accurately based on the data. For example, some of you may have the same experience as I did. Like sometimes I wonder, how come Facebook knew that I wanted to know about this and that product and sent me the advertisement about this and that product? I didn't even type search on Google yet. I didn't even type search on my Facebook yet. But Facebook can already predict that I want to buy something right now. And they gave me that advertisement. That is a result of this predictive artificial intelligence. Because the artificial intelligence or algorithm, you know that word, right? algorithm helps you helps the company predict like, oh, people with this profile, with this gender, with this age range, with this level of education are most likely at this time of the year will start looking for a new tablet, will start looking for a new maybe school items because it's the season where you have to go back to the university where the semester starts, right? And some of them, I'm surprised these days. I just talk about what I want to buy with some of my family members last night. Then the following day, right? I don't know if you experienced that. The following day, your Facebook start popping up the advertisement about that product already. I don't know how, right? Or maybe I accidentally search on the website somewhere and then they can link those websites that I search to my Facebook profile. All right? Those days were gone. That is the first generation of artificial intelligence, the predictive one. But these days with the chat GPT, it can help you even create essays. If the professor asks you to write essay, yes, you can ask chat GPT. But is that ethical? Is that the right way to use chat GPT? Right? Because it helps you create content, even worse. These days with the generative AI, it doesn't create only text. It can help create images. It can help create videos. Do you know the term deep fake? Especially in the polarized, politically kind of like polarized situation that we are facing right now. In other countries, this happened already, where the opposite side start to create fake video of the opposite side, right? And try to make a rumor about that, right? Those are the use of AI to generate video. We have seen that like people who like Trump or who hate Trump, Donald Trump, right, may create the fake videos of Trump giving a bad speech, something like that, right? That's the wrong use of generative AI. Unfortunately, today I have only 1 hour. I don't want to get too much into the ethical or regulations that we have to set up to control generative AI yet. That's going to be another big topic to discuss. But what we are going to do next in the next 10, 15 minutes here is I'm going to share with you how can we use generative AI, especially ChatGPT, creatively to solve some sustainable issue. I just read an article from Harvard Business Review that discusses like what the problems are actually for organizations, not to be able to solve the problem that they are facing. And the article explains that usually the root of the problem for organizations not being able to innovate or come up with new solution to the problem is because they don't have the right efficient way to evaluate the ideas. They don't. They have the experts, and those experts tend to have their own bias, and this is human nature. Most of you study communication, right? Anyone here do not or does not study communication in this room? You don't study communication, perhaps like environmental science or language, high language, right? So thank you for sharing. Everyone comes to the problem with different background, disciplinary background. I come to solve certain problems with my communication background. So I have a bias that whenever I see any problem, I think, yes, it's human communication problem. If you are from environmental science, right, you might see any problem as the environmental issue problem. If you come from the language, literature background, you might see that all the problems should be tackled from the language, linguistics problem to frame the issue so that people will have a perception, right? So that is the human bias, experts bias to evaluate ideas, right? And then there are also the problems of people who contribute new ideas. Those people who come up with the new solutions to the problem, they might not be able to provide as much detail about their idea, to the organization to make a decision like, oh, if we have a problem about, let's say, air pollution, I want to run a campaign. Then if I'm the money donor to give you the money to implement the solution, right? And I ask you back, yes, you want to run a campaign. Tell me how you want to run your campaign. You might scratch your head. No, it's a campaign, right? Those contributors may not have the ideas or details as much to provide to the donor, right? Or to the policymaker, right? And sometimes, if there are so many ideas out there, all those ideas may go into different directions. There is no way to synthesize or bring all different ideas together, right? So that is the root of the problem. Now, how can ChatGPT or generative AI help? That article that I read in Harvard Business Review, written by a group of researchers from the University of Missouri and some consulting firms. I will provide you with a reference later. It said that the solution could be implemented by promoting divergent thinking. Think outside the box. Try to, accept all possible solutions together, right? We need to challenge expertise bias. Don't accept any just one perspective from anyone from just some specific discipline. We have to find a way to evaluate different ideas so that we can make a good decision to implement any single solution. We call this make an informed decision. If you are not familiar with the term, right? Make an informed decision. You have to decide based on the good data. And finally, you have to refine all those ideas with good detail. And all these things, if you look carefully, ChatGPT can help, or generative AI can help along this, all right? The next question I have for you right now, I've been speaking for quite some time already, right? What is the most serious cause of air pollution in Chiang Mai? Let's use the air pollution in Chiang Mai as the case study to discuss together now, right? Scan the QR code, and if you have to pick one, what is the most serious cause of air pollution in your view, in your opinion? Do you think it's because of the cars, the motorcycles? We call that vehicular emissions, right? Is it the industry? We have a lot of industry, factory, industrial estates on the way to Lamphun, right? Do we still have that here, right? We have the agricultural burning, farmers, people who do agriculture here burn the forest. We have forest fires too. That is the natural fires that happen every season. Or are there any other factors that I haven't listed here? All right, I'll give you for a few seconds here to answer and do this poll together. We have 18 answers coming in already. And if you are watching this presentation from Facebook, please feel free to participate in the poll too. No right, no wrong here. I just want to check the perception of everyone. Thank you for the 26, 27 answers that come in here. It seems to me that the majority, almost half, right, said that the most serious cause of the air pollution here in Chiang Mai is a result of agricultural burning. All right, there are some who said that the vehicular emissions, cars, trucks, motorcycles, and all that is the runner-up here, number 2. We also have the forest fires. We cannot ignore that. Every season, every hot summer dry season, the forest fire really happens, right? And unavoidably, we have to find a way, a solution to that to stop global warming, all right? And finally, last but not least, you said that there are some industrial activities going on too. We have more and more factories in Chiang Mai. Now, you see that people have different ideas about what is actually the root of the problem. People have different opinions, and we have to debate and discuss what is the most serious problem. It's been happening in Chiang Mai for the past few years already, the air pollution. And there are quite a few things that are being done. Like there are some campaigns to promote people awareness that, hey, this kind of problem you have to help solve, right? There are some regulations on burning practices. If you burn the forest, if you burn what you grow, right, you will be punished, you will be fined, you will be jailed. There are some practices here, and there are some attempt to improve the emission standards for vehicles. What I mean here is that, yeah, you see, there are eco car coming up more and more, right? People start to buy eco car, eco motorcycle, eco whatever, right? More and more. And then there are some people who are interested in investing the renewable energy sources. Now, my question is, which one is the least effective, not effective at all, out of all these measures, out of all these activities, in your opinion? From the 22 answers, a lot of you said that enforcing regulation, making sure that people who burn the forest, who burn the farms and all that will be sent to jail. That is not effective at all, because even though we have that in place, people still do it. So that is the root of the problem in your view. So that being said, let me show you some of the strategies to use AI or ChatGPT to help you or give you an idea how to promote divergent thinking, how to challenge the expertise bias, how to assist in idea evaluation, and how to support idea refinement. Scholars from the field of business innovation management, they come up with the idea of like, how are you going to overcome all the disciplinary barrier when different experts come and sit down together and find a solution to some social problem like sustainability problem? Like, one approach is called trisociation. You know the word association, right? Association is when you link ideas together. There is also a word bisociation, when you link two things together and the two things are not related. And finally, researchers in innovation management say that there is an approach called trisociation. You can link three things together, and those three things may not be related in order to come up with a new solution and avoid the bias, right? Now, how can we do that with ChatGPT? I used ChatGPT just last night. I created a prompt on ChatGPT. Oops. I asked ChatGPT to do this. I asked them like, ChatGPT, you will play the role as an ideator. People who come up with the idea, right? You will randomly generate 10 common nouns that offer solution to air pollution problem. 10 nouns, 10 words, any random word to solve the pollution problem. And then you will select 2 out of that 10 that you create. And then I will give you one more word, right? So there are 3, trisociation, right? 2 randomly selected from ChatGPT. 1, I give ChatGPT because human beings should have the role in making a decision too, right? So I give one now to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you combine the 3 words together to come up with the possible solution to the air pollution problem? And this is actually a real process for people who study business innovation to come up with new products. But I just use it to solve pollution problem, the same way of doing things, trisociation. Here are the 10 words. If you use ChatGPT, you can try the same thing right now. You can log on to ChatGPT and see whether or not ChatGPT will come up with the same 10 random words. Or if you use Bard, Google Bard, or any other generative AI tools, you can do the same thing, right? They come up with these 10 words, and then ChatGPT told me, okay, now, out of these 10, I will randomly choose electric vehicles and green roof. It even asked me, what is your one word that you want to put in to be the 3rd word, so that I can help you come up with the idea. So I gave them the word sustainable farming, because I read your mind. Last night I read your mind. It's probably about farming. That was the main cause of the problem here in Chiang Mai, right? ChatGPT came up with 3, actually just one first, right? Just one first at the first round. It came up with the idea of like, okay, if I combine electric vehicles, green roofs, and your word, right? Sustainable farming here. The idea to solve air pollution in Chiang Mai will be, let's build eco communities together where these 3 things are used. That's what ChatGPT said. The idea is, yes, let's aim to build the eco community here. I'm not going to read these texts in detail for you, but at least you get the idea already, right? How the tri-associations emerge. Now, do I want one idea? No, because as human beings, we want different solutions to the problem, and we want to evaluate different solutions, right? So I click ChatGPT into. Do you know ChatGPT has that function called regenerate, generate again, generate the answer again, right? So I click it one more time. The second time it said that let's do this. Let's create green mobility farm. The farm that use the kind of eco-friendly vehicle. They call it the green mobility farm, mobile, right? Use the environmentally friendly vehicle to deliver farming products and whatsoever, right? That is the main idea. You can read it later by yourself, or if you want to generate, let's see whether or not it comes with the same idea. That's the second option they gave me. Am I satisfied yet? No. I click for the third time that I asked it to regenerate the finding. They said that if you're not happy, let's do this. Let's create the eco-smart urban farm. What does that mean? When we talk about farms, it could be anywhere. But for this idea, they said that, for Chiang Mai in particular, right? Eco-smart farm is the kind of farm that is environmentally friendly, but it is urban. It can be located within the city too. Doesn't have to go to like a far away area. You can make use of the space in Chiang Mai. If you ride your motorcycle around the city, you will see that you have a lot of space around it that is still available. And you can use that idea. ChatGPT gave me 3 options already. Now, the next question I have for you is, in your opinion, which option is the most appropriate to address air pollution in Chiang Mai? From the 3 options that ChatGPT gave me, which option do you think is the most appropriate for Chiang Mai? Let me wait for your answer. Okay, we got almost 20 participants replying already. A lot of you go with the eco community, right? You think that is the most appropriate to solve the air pollution. Then the next one is green mobility farm, and the last one is eco smart urban farm. Make the farm happen in the city, but then make it eco friendly. Are you happy with the solution? Do you think your decision based on just simply the definition is good enough yet? Perhaps not, right? Because different of you may have different opinions about this. In reality, in the past, what any government would do is to do public hearing. Have you heard of that term? Public hearing, right? They have different options to solve different problems. And then they will send out a survey to ask people opinions, or they may interview experts to find out opinions. But actually, hey, if it's a small problem, you can even ask ChatGPT to evaluate for you too. Because I told you from the very beginning, you can use ChatGPT to generate ideas by association. And you can use ChatGPT to help you evaluate too, right? But I'm trying to stay away from letting the technology to make a decision for you. So what I did was, I asked ChatGPT again. Now we got the 3 options from them already, right? Tell me, what are the pros and cons, and what is the best or most appropriate solution for Chiang Mai? What are the pros and cons, and what's the appropriate solution for Chiang Mai, right? Because I want to hear the reasoning that ChatGPT wanted to provide for each solution. Number 1, you don't need to read through all this in detail, but let me summarize real quick for you, right? Eco community, the majority of you chose, is the most ideal one. But in reality, I gave them criteria of feasibility, whether or not it can really be done. Practicality, whether or not it's practical, right? That solution is practical. And finally, is it cost effective? ChatGPT analyzed all those things for me. And what they said is that, yes, in the long term, if all the community members really help participate, it's good, it's ideal. But can that really happen? Not easy. Just thinking of like getting a stable government, right, in the country, it's not easy already. Especially when things involve different stakeholders, different parties involved in decision making. It's not easy to make the solution happen here, right? So that is something you need to think about. it's probably not the most practical or the most feasible solution that can be actually done. Easier said than done. For green mobility farms, yeah, it's good. It relies a lot on vehicle and all that, but it may require a lot of investments because it uses a lot of technology and all that to help, right? So there's a lot of money involved. That is what they summarize for me, right? Okay, don't worry, you don't have to read this in detail. That's the idea. And the last one, eco smart urban farm. They said that yes, this one is interesting because you can use a lot of empty space in the city in Chiang Mai. You can still monitor how people do farming in the city area, and then it makes good use of the space, and then it's still environmentally friendly as well. Urban farming, as they said, as they proposed here. So there are a lot of pros here, but you chose this as your last choice. Remember? Now let me ask you my last question for my presentation today. After hearing the pros and cons of the three options that ChatGPT has to offer, you still want to maintain your solution that you chose, or do you want to change now? Choose again. Let's see whether or not you change your mind. Interesting. A lot of you still advocate for eco communities, even though it's the hardest to do. It seems to me that a lot of you still stick with your initial answer that let's build the eco communities no matter what, even though it's the hardest to implement. We stick with that. And then, we have even smaller group of people choosing eco smart urban farm and green mobility, even though the other switch here, I think, right? But it's interesting to see why people still stick with the choice that they chose, or people change. Some of the lessons learned here from this activity that I just demonstrate with you. What are some of the lessons learned throughout this process of using ChatGPT to solve the environmental problem? I have some thoughts after I tried this activity. Number one, environmental or sustainability problem is the so-called wicked problem. Do you know this word? Wicked problem. Wicked problem means that you're facing with some social that requires some action from you, some solution for you. But there is no one perfect solution. Whichever solution you choose, it will lead to a different problem. That's why it's wicked problem, right? Sustainability is like that. And ChatGPT or AI here can be used to help you gather information, gather or brainstorm the pros and cons about different solutions. But all in all, the decision has to be done by human beings, by you, right? If you use it the right way like that, I think the world will be a better place, right? We don't use ChatGPT, we don't use generative AI just to create fake information. We use it to gather information, help us make decisions. And this thing can be used not only to help solve wicked problem, sustainability problem, but actually for professors like us, right? Instead of teaching a class and ask students to go write an essay, you can follow the steps of doing this and run it in your class as well, right? Choose or propose some wicked problems for students and let them brainstorm, come up with a solution, let them work with ChatGPT. But then, in the end, whatever solution student makes, they have to defend or explain that decision. So that's how I'm planning to do in my next semester when I teach my communication class, for instance, right? So that is the basic lesson learned that I see now. Going back to the initial question that I asked you, do you think AI will replace human beings? It may replace some routine jobs, some jobs that doesn't require thinking, right? But if you are skillful enough, competent enough, you should be able to use that to your advantage. So you don't have to go do a lot of research on your own, but use ChatGPT to gather information for you. But the decision making, not from the AI, right? And human beings should make the rationale, the informed decision that I